It's Ed Sciaky with you, 94 WYSP, as you probably heard us mention. Next weekend, it's the Philadelphia Folk Festival. In fact, it's the 27th annual Philadelphia Folk Festival, so I thought we'd bring out the man who was there at the very beginning and the host of each year's Folk Festival, my old friend, Gene Shay. Hi, Gene.
Hi, Ed. What am I doing at this station?
I don't know.
I've been at every other station, but...
Well, actually, you did appear at our Main Point broadcast a few weeks ago.
That's right.
I want to thank you again for that. It was great. But just in case some folks don't know, what the Philadelphia Folk Festival is or where it is and how it got started, why don't you fill us in a little bit? You were there at the formation of this whole thing, weren't you?
That's right, in the early 60s. That was the festival was at a different place. It was in Paoli on Swedesford Road at a home owned by the Wilson family. And there was a 2-day festival for starters, and it was so successful. We went to 3 days, and it moved because of the size of the crowd growing each year. It moved eventually to Schwenksville, where it now is, on the old Pool Farm in Upper Salford Township. And today it's almost three full days and evenings of music and dance and all kinds of things like children's workshops and learning how to juggle and humor songs. And they're having a workshop this year about Mississippi John Hurt and his music.
Of course, he played at the festival in the early years.
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
How did the whole thing actually get started? Was it some one person's idea? Was there already a folk song society?
There was a folk song society, and someone brought up the idea at a meeting and enlisted a fellow by the name of David Hadler, who now lives out west, but does occasionally come back. And David and I, in fact, co-chaired the first festival. We only had a very small budget, $50 to work with.
Really?
Really. And thanks to the help of Martin Guitar, who were, the guitar people who live up in Nazareth, PA, they said they would back us for $200. They wouldn't loan us money, but they would back us, just in case we lost, up to $200.
Oh,
so we took the plunge and said, let's try a festival. And I was the co-chairman, and Pete Seeger was great because he was pretty hot at the time. Best known, of course, from the Weavers in those days. And Pete Seeger agreed to do the festival. And then he returned his payment check, which I thought was a nice gesture. At the end, he said, here, you guys put it into next year's. And because Pete was at the festival and Reverend Gary Davis, but Pete was the most well-known person on that first bill.
This was 62, right?
1962. That was the beginning of the festival, and it gave us enough funds to go a little bit bigger next year.
So it made money the first year? You didn't have to lose money?
Yes, but remember, it's put on by a nonprofit educational corporation. That's the Philadelphia Folk Song Society that has other things all year long, not just the festival. They also have monthly meetings and Bluegrass and Old Time Music Festival, and they have house sings, and they sponsor all kinds of things for folkies.
Well, one thing about the festival, it's survived all kinds of ups and downs with folk music being very trendy one year and not so trendy the next. It's always maintained on an even keel. The type of performer, the type of music, and the kind of family and folky kind of event. All the people who can't stand those ties and jackets, take them off once a year and go out and
bring your rain gear and your blankets and
they're weekend hippies sort of for one weekend.
Except they're sort of grown up weekend hippies.
Yeah,
now they have kids, and now their hairs are short and they're shorter, and they're.
Well, there's all kinds. Actually, I wonder how some of the long hairs, what they do with their hair the rest of the year. these days. I haven't figured that out yet, but it's always been a great event. I've been going to it myself for most of it. Well, I think 66. 60. I think I was at one briefly before that, but the first time I really went was 66. I remember when it was at Spring Mountain, which is right near where it is now.
Right, that was the second place.
And I was there the year that Dylan showed up but didn't play.
That's right, and Janice Ian was there. And I remember that Dylan went over to her. Dylan was with David Bromberg, if you remember.
Right.
Bromberg took him under his wing and said, hey, look, I'll protect you. Come out to the festival.
Right.
And I remember that Dylan was wearing sunglasses backstage at night, which I thought was quite unusual.
Very cool. He's cool,
Yes.
But he did. I heard him jamming. It was fascinating because I was like eavesdropping on Bromberg and Dylan kind of warming up. And then I guess it was just he didn't want to go on because it would cause too much of a scene or something.
Well, they asked me at one point, do you think that you could... They said, Gene, do you think as MC you can control the crowd so that he only does one or two songs? Because we had a curfew, a limit, as agreed upon by the township and the Folk Song Society, and we couldn't go over that limit. So I said, I think so. And just before he was supposed to go on, he decided, nah, I better not. So
this Philadelphia Folk Festival has an international reputation, of course, by virtue of the quality of it and the fact that it's been going on for so long. I guess there are a handful of other festivals around the world that are on a par, I guess. But
there's big festival that's been going on for a number of years in Kerrville, Texas, and of course there's the Cambridge Folk Festival in England. There's the Newport Folk Festival that has started up and closed down a number of times. There are a whole bunch of them.
A lot of people, of course, are repeat customers, and I thought maybe for the folks who maybe have never, because I get people saying, what is it exactly? Where is it? It's just a weekend of music. There's camping available.
Right.
Although, people like me can commute. I'm one of the commuters. I camped out once.
Well, camping out is fine if the weather is not too oppressive.
Right.
It gets really hot.
Or rainy.
But camping is sensational.
Oh, sure.
I've done it a few times because it's a little city unto itself.
Right.
It's a patrolled, safe camping area, but something, by this time, camping is probably all filled up.
Yeah. So there are probably still tickets available for individual performances, individual
there
days.
There are probably,
and so on,
yes, and also weekend. The only thing that I hear is sold out at this point is there are no more tickets for the reserved seats on Saturday evening, but there are reserved seats available for Friday and Sunday. But I think you can get an all-festival ticket that's good for the afternoon events.
Right. The reserved seats means that the little roped-in area where there are actually chairs. There's a huge lawn, though, where most people camp or just sit and sit on their blankets.
Most people prefer the blankets because they can relax and,
And it's near the food, also, if you're out on the blankets. They have these great... One thing we didn't mention is all of the food stands that are there. I like them, the corn and the... chocolate milk, that kind of stuff.
It's a huge natural amphitheater of funnel cakes, too. That's
funnel cakes, yes.
Fattening stuff.
Yes.
But that's way in the back. And the interesting thing that happened, I'm not sure how many years ago, is they have a closed circuit TV, large screen colored TVs. And I'm talking about a screen size, about the size of a barn, a wall of a barn on either side of the stage. So, for instance, when Doc Watson plays on Friday night and there are guitar pickers in the audience, even if they were standing up way in the back ordering a Stromboli, they could be looking at a close-up of Doc's fingers on those guitar strings.
Yes, we call it video.
Yes, video. I've heard of that, right. Us radio folks, yes.
And it's great. It's really great. Actually, I think, did it start the first year when Channel 12 videotaped the festival and they decided to project it up there? I don't know.
I don't think... at first it was in black and white and very fuzzy. And
that's true.
Technology has improved.
There was a great series of shows that Channel 12 did record.
That's right. That was 1974.
Yeah. And of course, we should mention the two folk festival albums, the 74 and the 77 folk festivals came out.
The 74 album was a private issue and has never been released. It's a limited edition, by the way, so don't get it messed up.
Okay.
And the 77 album on the Flying Fish label is still available. That's the one that I produced.
Right.
But the 74 album was just issued for radio station use.
Oh, I see. And it has stuff that was on the video presentation. Yes. Right. Let's quickly run down who's going to be there, some of the highlights maybe, and we'll get to some of the music from the folks that will be at the festival this year. There's a Friday showcase concert with a whole bunch of people. Then there's a Friday night concert with, why don't you tell us some of the folks that are on there?
Well, some of the highlights are Paula Lockhart, Tom Paxton, Doc Watson. A group does what they call Nuevo Canción music, new Spanish or Latino music called Sotavento. And a group called Magpie, they're quite good. Gatemouth Brown, the blues player and singer, fiddler. And then on Saturday night, a French group called La Poutine Souriant, and Filet, which is sort of a Creole, Cajun kind of Zydeco band. Paul Jeremiah, bluesman, Stephen Grossman, and John Renbourn. Remember John Renbourn from
the Pentangle?
The Pentangle, right. He used to work with Bert Jansch. The New Law City Ramblers, I believe that's the original Ramblers, reunion concert. And Buffy St. Marie has been replaced, and I understand that Melanie, another blast from our past, is coming to the Saturday evening concert. That's on August 27th. Okay. And on the 28th, Taj Mahal, Maria Moldauer, Roger Sprung and the Progressive Bluegrassers, Robin and Linda Williams, and Moses Rasco. He's the 72-year-old blues singer who I just produced an album of his up in Bethlehem, up at Godfrey Daniels, a live album.
Right.
So it's a pretty good lineup. I think I left one important... the important thing that I forgot to mention, there are some afternoon concerts on Saturday and on Sunday from 4 to 6. Right. The Saturday concert features Mike Cross, and he's a dynamic performer, along with Alison Krauss Band. She's a excellent fiddler for her age. I think she's only 15 years old or something, going on 16, and she's terrific. A city girl who learned how to play country fiddle like a master, and the McLean Family Band. So it's sort of country music. Mike Cross, you got to see him if you've never seen him. And then on Sunday, the afternoon concert is the Jug Band. When I say the Jug Band, it's basically the Jim Kweskin Jug Band minus Kweskin with some of the original members, Jeff Moldauer, Maria Moldauer, Bill Keith, Fritz Richmond, and others. And Patty Larkin is on that concert, and Tom Rush will close that afternoon concert Sunday, August 28th.
Right, and they're often the highlights of the festivals for me because the performers get a little more time and it's a more relaxed kind of thing, and it's really great from 4 to 6 on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Well, there's some of the highlights. This year's 1988 Philadelphia Folk Festival. We should give an information number.
Yeah, the number
here.
to call would be 242-0150. That's a special festival. You can even charge your tickets on that number.
Right.
But and get information, 242-0150 in Philadelphia.
And there's an 800 number also somewhere.
Yes.
It's 1-800 something folk, isn't it? Where is it? We don't have it. Here it is. Toll free 1-800-556-folk.
That's if you live outside of the 215
Right,
area.
1-800-556-FOLK, but in 215 it's 242-0150. Gene, thanks for dropping by. I think you have somewhere else to go tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll bid you farewell, and we'll.
That's right. I do.
Yes, you better do your own show.
I think I may do that, and I hope to see you at the festival.
Okay, and we'll see you. Maybe you'll bring out some of your bawdy jokes and other embarrassing moments for the festival.
I'm looking forward to it.
Gene Shay.
Yeah, thank you.
Gene Shay, thanks a lot. Music here from some of the folks who will be at this year's Folk Festival. We're going to dig back and do one from the Queskin Jug Band, Maria Moldauer. And this was always a knockout number, actually a Lieber Stoller tune called I'm a Woman, with Maria Moldauer singing with the Queskin Jug Band from 94 WYSP.